You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. One of the really cool things that happened here at the end of summer workouts at LSU is new strength and conditioning coordinator Jake Flint handed out the Iron Tiger Award. Now, LSU did publish this video. I'll go ahead and play it for you in case you have not seen or heard it yet.
Tiger Award. Iron Tiger 2022. Iron Tiger, okay? Got a few names, pop up every week. The one consistently over time comes back in. One Iron Tiger 2022. He gets a kick-ass award. Mekhi Wingo!
So Mekhi Wingo, the transfer from Missouri, got the Iron Tiger Award. This is something new, obviously, by Jake Flint. But I was thinking about Mekhi Wingo earlier today. By the way, Mekhi Wingo is going to be with us in 35 minutes from right now. He'd gone home to the St. Louis area, and he's driving back to Baton Rouge today. So while he's on the road, he's going to jump aboard with us here in about 35 minutes. But I was, in preparation to talk to Mekhi earlier, I was kind of looking into this. And, we've talked so much about the defensive line, and everyone's really excited about your defensive ends returning. Mason Smith, who many feel can be an All-American. I talked about Jaquelin Roy, who was on the Outland watch list, and why I'm very bullish on Jaquelin Roy, and I think he can be and will be have a very good junior season. How he's sort of mapping towards some of the best that have ever come through LSU. Not saying he'll be there, but the first 2 years have been on par with or better than some of the best defensive linemen ever come through LSU. So it's a big opportunity for Jaquelin Roy. Wingo, though, is a guy we haven't spent a lot of time on this offseason because we don't know him. I mean, he just finished his freshman year at Missouri, transferred in. But this is a really impressive honor when you have a guy that is potentially, it was not a starter, but is on the depth chart, down the depth chart, and is potentially earning starter reps because of the way he's conducting himself here in the offseason. And the other thing to consider is there's no favoritism from coaches here. I mean, all of these coaches are brand new. So Jake Flint wasn't here last year. He has every impression he has of all of the guys on the roster right now are his first impression, regardless if you've been here if you're Mekhi Wingo and you've only been here since January, or if you're someone who's been here for 4 years. So that's one of the reasons that Mekhi Wingo being honored like this was very impressive. But I was thinking about this too. When you look specifically at defensive line, I mean, the rotation is so important. And there's one year that always comes to mind for me, and it's 2013, where you had in 2013 a couple of veteran starters in Anthony Johnson and Ego Ferguson, but you had no real depth after them. And so anytime you're rotated on the defensive line to give your starters a break, it was like the floodgates opened. The contrast to that, one of the best years LSU ever had was 2011. Of course, that was an incredible defense, but your starting defensive tackles were Benny Logan, who was an All-American, and Michael Brockers, who was a first-round draft pick. Behind them, you had Anthony Johnson, who was the number one defensive lineman in the country, and Josh Downs, who at that point in his career was a veteran player and a really good rotational piece. Your threes, by the way, were Ego Ferguson, another five-star, and Dennis Johnson, a veteran player who gave you really good snaps. My point is you were six deep in your rotation at defensive tackle. That's one of the reasons why LSU's 2011 defense was as amazing as it was, because it didn't matter when you rotated, like you were just replacing with dudes who were veteran, awesome players. Mingo and Montgomery were your starting ends. Well, when you replaced, you went to LeVar Edwards and Chance Aguirre, a couple of dudes who've been around for 4 years and were really good players. So depth, especially on the defensive line, is so important. I mean, I mentioned 2013. Remember 2014 when Anthony Johnson and Ego Ferguson left? Your starters were Christian Lockacher, who was a sophomore, and Davin Gottschall, who was a true freshman. Now, both are really good players. Lockacher wore the 18. Gottschall just got broke off in the NFL. But you had a true freshman and a sophomore as your starting interior lineman in 2014. It's one of the reasons why that defense was not very good. I mean, you were young with your starters and had no depth. You look at this team, even if a guy like Wingo isn't your starter, Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy are your starters, backed up by Mekhi Wingo, who just won the Iron Tiger Award and was a freshman All-SEC, and Jacobian Guillory, who's a giant space eater. And then after that, you're talking about Ty G. Hill and Bryce Langston as your 5 and 6. You got depth. You have good depth there. And that's why, a big reason why I think I'm very bullish on this defensive line. I like your first 4 a lot. I mean, all of those guys, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojolari, Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy, they all have NFL potential, but so do the guys after them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm bullish. It's not just talent. It's also guys with some skins on the wall. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.